What's up? I'm TWA and welcome back to the channel. Before we even get started, and I probably shouldn't even need to say this, but don't go harass and bully anybody mentioned in this video. If you do, you're a piece of garbage. The point of this video is to just point out some cringe and have a couple yucks. A trigger warning for albiism, transphobia, and a menagerie of other terrible, shitty things as well. But again, this video is a joke, and it's to point out some cringe to laugh at for entertainment. It's not meant to be a caveat for anybody to go out and bully and harass or anything of the like. If you do, you're a piece of garbage. So, a couple days ago, a Smeagol crawled out of Mordor to come and comment his 14-paragraph opinion on my buddy's video. And he started commenting back and forth with a few people and got a little heated, and he started throwing out some insults like, go eat a bagel, and you're pedantic and autistic. And I can forgive using autistic as an insult. That's absolutely fine. Go ahead. But how dare you tell me to eat a bagel? You go eat a bagel, motherfucker. No. Obviously, using autistic as an insult is insanely shitty, and it's reasons like that that I won't be talking so much about D&D opinions here, but more about this guy and his cringy friends. And that's what I did. I dived head first into this guy's content, and I gotta tell you, I was a soldier. I was going through the trenches with no allies, you know, fucking grenades and landmines of cringe just exploding, the enemy in every direction. It was insane, but I came out torn, scarred, and a different man. But I have some nuggets of cringe for y'all, so let's get right into it and have some fun.
Oh God.
And for segment 2 today, we're going to talk about how tampons of the coast can ruin yet something else.
I just want to say tampons of the coast is one of the dumbest comebacks or insults I've ever heard in my entire life. It sounds like something I would come up with when I was 9 years old and drunk off margaritas. Like, your game company is so bad that it's a tampon of the coast. It's such a big tampon that it can absorb the whole coast.
And this time, they're going to ruin the beloved Dragonlance. That is right. Go ahead and read our disclaimer. If you don't like what we have to say, I don't care.
And off the bat, we get this wonderful, wonderful disclaimer here. And I don't know what you take from this oddly worded disclaimer, but what I take from it is that he is a man. He is a manly man with very large balls. He has such large balls and such a huge dick that if you even so much as utter a gender-neutral pronoun around him, the dick and balls will suck back up into his body and cause an implosion where he will just implode and cease to exist. So just don't use gender-neutral pronouns around him. So these two have stumbled across a book called Limitless Heroics, a book of rules and whatnot for putting handicapped people into the game, neurodivergent, whatever. And it's a cute, wholesome book that was kickstarted, and they're giving their review on it. Let's check it out.
It all started
with
a stupid combat wheelchair. God damn it.
All writers, editors, and artists hired for this book are disabled. Degenerate. The word you wanted to use was degenerate. I'm sorry. No, disabled for the first one, degenerate for neurodivergent and or have mental or chronic illness.
That is not something that you want to have. None of those things are something that you want to have. Like, I want to praise. You want to praise not just being... Fuck that. Get that out of here. You want to praise being different? Fine. You want to praise being disabled? Fuck you.
It's called disabled for a reason.
Not able. You are not able to make sense.
These two Schmeagles just come out of the gate with some of the craziest takes I've ever heard. No one's praising it. This book, at least I feel this book is representing it. And I feel like there's a difference there. Like, does Professor X not exist? Does the Blind Samurai not exist? Does Eeyore not exist? They took his depressed ass on so many adventures. Eeyore would be a great D&D character.
Non-disabled people can sometimes feel uncomfortable around disabled people or don't know how to talk or act. No, I talk and act the same way I always do. It's like a kid. You know, I don't know if you were raised this way, Heathen Dog, but it drives me nuts. My mom did this to me. Like, your 5-year-old child looks at a guy without an arm and is like, Daddy, why doesn't he have an arm? And everybody freaks out. Oh, don't say it. Don't. No, fuck that. The dude's missing an arm.
Yeah, there's no getting around it.
They literally just explained what normalizing means. So should we make this book and point these things out and normalize things? Or should we not make this book and not point these things out and tell kids that it's rude and keep it taboo. They don't even know what they're mad about at this point. And you see that a lot on this channel where these two just jerk each other off in these convoluted word salads and just keep contradicting themselves. I'm not exactly sure what they're mad about yet. Let's keep watching.
If you don't, then you die.
And this isn't the real world. These are games based on fantasy. You wouldn't be going through a dungeon. I don't even want to talk about combat wheelchair. You wouldn't be going through a dungeon with that. And if you have the ability to get it healed, you would get it healed. And somebody, well, I wouldn't. Well, then you're a fucking weirdo. Then you have neurodiverged, whatever that nonsense word is. Problems. And you wouldn't be an adventurer anyway because you'd be eaten by a gelatinous cube. Or, damn it, stop. Or a green slime.
This one's honestly just surreal to me. This is a grown man holding up a plastic toy, making the point that this plastic toy should be able to kill any handicapped person inside of a fantasy game. Like, it's so baffling and cringe. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, yes, you're absolutely correct. You are absolutely right. A gelatinous cube would be able to kill any handicapped person. A person in a wheelchair, fucking pleb, easy slaps. Like, unlike me, I would be able to stand up against a gelatinous cube because I have both my legs and a steady diet of Mountain Dew and no pussy. Like, thank you. Thank you for making this video to enlighten my tiny, puny goblin brain why D&D is being so woke that it's not realistic. So, for me, handicapped people in my games, no thank you. No sirree, Bob. It's just fucking dumb.
Yep. Because you hit a flight of stairs.
Because you hit a flight of stairs. Oh, my God.
Again, my major question here is just, what are these guys actually so mad about? I don't understand seeing a Kickstarter for a handicapped D&D book and making a 50-minute long video and being upset about it. It's baffling.
Oh, yeah, they played Giant Lands and they got a little too sleepy. Oh, my God. And that's the big difference between the whole gatekeeping, not gatekeeping thing, to kind of go back to the beginning, is I'm not gatekeeping you from this. And if you feel I am, that's on you. If you think you're going to put that in my game, you're not.
Then don't. Nobody's forcing you to have this in your games. And if you don't want a capable hero like a blind samurai in your games, then you don't have to. And you and your sad virgin friends can all sit around and play testosterone-filled men with capable full men bodies, and people will leave you alone. You're literally mad about nothing. This is a 50-minute video, mad about nothing.
Because if you have a wheelchair in my game, you're not going to be able to get up castle stairwells. And I'm not going to just be, it's magic. No. There are other ways around that. Get your legs fixed. Or retire, and I say this all the time because it's such an easy trope. Retire and tell the war stories as you open up your inn.
Yeah.
Now you don't even have to adventure, and people are coming to pay you money.
No. My character was born disabled. Guess what? You didn't make it through childhood because you live in a fantasy environment. Your mom and dad were farmers. Guess what Captain You, who can't walk, cannot do? Farm. You weren't given food. you were just killed.
I'm going to say something I think everybody's thinking. You realize this is a game, right? Like, your parents would starve you to death for being disabled. If that's a fantasy world you live in, you don't need D&D. You need therapy.
The reason you and I say that is because we both seem to like a little bit lower magic worlds. In a higher magic world where clerics are everywhere, like every third person is a cleric and every second person is a wizard,
then that person can be healed.
Yeah, right. But I'm not broken. Yes, nope, yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Human beings come with legs that walk. If yours can't walk, you're a broken human being.
Believe me, if I could right now pop a pill and have misophonia go away.
So he brings this up a few times throughout the video. Misophonia is the annoyance, the frustration when you hear the sounds of slurping or eating or the like. And he tries to use this as a way to say, well, I'm disabled too, so I can say these things. But the thing is, this isn't even registered as a mental disorder. Some argue that it should be. I don't know, but what I do know is this guy getting agitated or frustrated when he hears the sounds of his wife slurping somebody else's dick isn't the same as somebody not being able to use their legs or their eyes or other actual handicaps.
But the thing is that people say it doesn't affect you. You know, oh, Mac, I mean, Heathen Dog knows this. Going back all the way to our Air Force times, how many times did I rail or rage about something? You guys are like, why the fuck do you worry about this stuff? Who cares?
Yes, this is the question I've been asking the entire time. What is he so mad about? I'm excited to finally hear.
You know, and in a lot of instances, they're right. But there are also other instances when you start seeing the world change around you, and this 80%, you know, this goes back to like the pronoun nonsense, where I won't get into because, you know, it annoys people now.
He rages about the pronoun stuff for a couple minutes and goes on in a 3-minute long rant about nonsense. I'm just going to skip through it and skip to the end.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care. Just let them do their thing. To some degree, I want to let them do their thing, but when their thing infects my thing, you're done. And we have to stand up.
So after a 3-minute long word salad rant that took more twists and turns than M. Night Shyamalan's penis, we finally get to the point. He is mad because this thing affects his thing. And this thing is a Kickstarter optional rules book. It doesn't affect him whatsoever. And the fact that he calls it his thing is just asinine. It's not his thing. It's our thing as a community. The fact he thinks it's his thing is the problem, because I'll answer the question that took him 6,000 words to answer. I'll answer it a lot quicker. What I'm mad about, what actually bothers me about any of this, other than just it's funny cringe, is the fact that there could be some kid out there who scribbles out his character and comes to play his first game of D&D and ends up at this guy's table. And this guy is just going to tell him he can't play his handicapped character, he can't do this, he can't do that, he has to track the phases of the moon, and this kid is going to think that this represents our community, and it doesn't. That's what I'm actually mad about.
Lunar spells, full moon, new moon, crescent moon. Oh. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can choose what lunar phase manifests. Oh shit, that looks like a quarter moon. Full moon, bitch.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
And if you're a normal, sane person, you're probably wondering what these two guys are going on about. They're currently comparing an old setting to a new setting, complaining specifically about a rule saying that the DM has to track the phases of the moon, and the player's abilities are based off of that. In the new setting, Wizards of the Coast said, if you don't want to track the phases of the moon, you don't have to. You still can, but here's a way that you don't have to. The player can just choose it upon long rest. And they're super mad about that. And I don't understand that. And you see it so much, but this rule change doesn't actually affect anything, because it doesn't affect your table. If you want to track the phase of the moon, you still can. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's like if you really like butt sex, but the law says you can only have butt sex on Tuesdays. So you love that. Your butt sex Tuesdays are your jam. You be butt sexing all the time on Tuesdays. But then the law changes to say you can have butt sex whenever you want, any day of the week. It's up to you, man. And you're going to have two reactions to this. You're either going to say, I'd rather have butt sex on Tuesdays. I like my butt sex Tuesdays. I'm going to stick with that. Or you can say, oh, hell yeah, butt sex all the time. Let's go. And either of those reactions are fine. But these guys are doing a third reaction going, no, I have butt sex on Tuesdays and everybody should have butt sex on Tuesdays. And that's where it's weird. And that's where it's backwards, because they go off about how their game is being changed, but they're the ones trying to force a way of playing on other people.
Hold on. I need 8 hours to change how the moon works.
Yes. You're fucking Superman and you can move the moon. Okay.
This actually says you can choose what lunar phase manifests its power through your magic. It's not actually saying you could change the moon, but either way, it's just fucking silly.
All right. Great. Move the moon with the power of your mind. No, I'm sorry. No. You have no brain. The power of your idiot belief.
No one's saying, nowhere in the text does it say that you can change the moon with your mind. You're mad about nothing.
Features Squire of Solamnia. You gain the Squire of Solamnia feat. And presented later in the document. In addition, the Knight of Solamnia provide you free, modest lodging and food at their fortresses and encampment. Okay. Building a character. Any class or subclass that has martial prowess can be a good fit for the Knight of Solamnia. Fighters, paladins, of course, make up the bulk of the knighthood. Clerics, they got rid of the 3. Can also be found. For a more unusual take on the Knight of Solemnity character, consider playing a bard.
This is just more of the same kind of thing. They're currently mad about the bard being included in this obscure order, in this obscure way, and it's just the same thing that if you don't want it at your table, you don't have to, but now people have an actual option of being able to play a bard in this, but you don't have to do that. It's the same kind of thing that this rule change doesn't actually affect anything, and the fact that these two are trying to change the core rules to tell everybody else that you have to play how I want to play, like bards can't be included in this, is just a self-centeredness and entitledness that you usually only find in Karens. Like, these schmeagles are really out here being like, you filthy hobbits, you ruins it, and it's just insane. This man actually just raged and recklessly attacked his camera. Take a look at this again.
They don't understand that Knights of Solemnia were actually better represented, better idyllic. We're better than just a basic paladin.
You gotta admire how he just keeps talking here and tries to ignore the fact that the cringiest thing on the planet just happened.
The 3 different ranks, the 3 different ways you could rise, the crown, the sword, the rose. I think I got those in the wrong order. You probably don't want to fix that camera.
But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys these 2 absolute schmeagles who came out of the woodwork to spew some more toxic shit than a Facebook mom with an opinion. But since I've started making this video, some drama, some lore has gotten a bit deeper, as they made a 6-hour-long react video to the initial video that KedHup had made where the comment had came on and all this had happened. They made a 6-hour-long video reacting to that, and apparently it's fucking wild and wacky. Apparently they show a gun, apparently they talk about me, apparently they make all sorts of weird, crazy, violent rhetoric. I haven't watched it, I don't know, but we're probably gonna have to dive into that and see what we can see there, and I might make another video on it, so you guys might get a follow-up. But thank you for watching. Peace.